Hey guys, it's CogandGear, and we're back with another MineMogul episode. Today's a little different. I streamed this game yesterday, and I connected every ore node on the map. So in this episode, we're going to show you how I take all the, from mined resources, to sorting the resources, to processing the resources. And starting off up here, this is at the top of the map, where a bunch of iron and extra resources are. And one of the most challenging things about mining all the resources on this map is getting all the ore from the upper level down to the bottom. And one of the little spots I found was this little iron, or this little hole back here, and I'll show you exactly where it goes. And then some of the copper I have all getting sent down right here, and it joins up with a copper mine. And again, if any of you want to see how I laid out all these conveyor belts, I actually streamed all of it. So if you go check out my past live streams, you will see where I built every single thing. I pretty much built everything except a couple of the beginning conveyor belts for the beginning miners at the very beginning of the map. So here, there's copper coming from over here. I'll show you it briefly. But we just have an auto miner here. We have copper, I guess that one's a coal node, getting crushed up and gets sent down that chute. We have some copper over there getting sent in, and then there's some copper back over there in the cave that gets sent up, and it all gets met here. But this is where a ton of iron and coal actually come out. Two big coal nodes there, and a smaller iron node here. We're both getting crushed right there. And then it all joins up on this belt to go to the factory. But so here, at first I had this one crusher, and I had all these belts joining up right on top of this guy in this merger, and that didn't work. It did sometimes it didn't. A lot of these big chunks would get stuck just like this, and they would actually clog themselves and would pop out. So I had a bunch of extra stuff there. I'm actually going to fix this right here. I didn't realize stuff was getting clogged here. So let's fix this right quick. And like this factory's not perfect. It does spill a tiny bit, but I would say 99% of the ore does go where it needs to go. And just to make sure, and if you guys aren't using walls in your factory like these, I mean, I have to. Some of you might be good enough to build a factory without them. But I think these help, especially with these big chunks. These big chunks really like to pop out. So I think that's going to help, that being a lip. Okay. And so like I said, I was going to show you where this goes. You kind of have to squeeze back here. And I don't even know if everyone knows about this. I didn't know about this area for a long time. But there's this house I did not build. This is actually built by the dev. He put this secret little house here. I have everything dropping down. And it actually comes down this cave. And then this is where the factory is. It's really hard to see where this crack is in the cave if you don't have lights up here. Because, I don't know why, it's just a big shadow up here. So it doesn't even look like there's a hole here until later, or until you put some lights on it. And then I have it dropping down. So here is a sorting machine. All the other ores come up this direction. The gold comes this way. Gold is coming from up that chute, and back there on that side of the map is all coming around and up this. That iron meets the iron from this side of the map, all right here into this sorter. Copper right here. So on this, I call it the sorting brain, kind of. So all the coal on each one of these comes out the right side, and on the left side is where all of the ore goes, nuggets and all. And then down the middle is where the emeralds, diamonds, and geodes fall. And let me show you from underneath. So this is the coal belt, bringing things out and around, and it gets separated back here to the wash plants. And then the diamonds and emeralds all come down here and meet up with the polisher there. This belt right here is my coal, like, overshoot. So I will actually, right here, I'll just get rid of this and put on a regular belt, and we'll just take all the coal that way for the missions at the end of the game when you need coal. But right now I have everything going through the wash plant. And I'll show you what this guy is. This guy actually turns off coal, or not coal. This guy turns on and off the coal that goes to the blast or the casting furnaces. So if I flip this guy right here, it will actually start the factory to make steel instead of iron. But right now we're making iron to finish out a quest. But yeah, all the coal comes out, and then all the ores come out the back here. So we have iron going up, it's getting smashed, crushed right there in the nuggets and getting separated. Gold goes to the second level. Right, this is the second level of my factory, and then the third level is all copper. So let me show you guys the main machine. So if I'm making steel, because iron and steel is on the bottom, I will turn on the coal inlet, and it will come over, crush the coal, because you get the same amount of coal going into the furnace as one little nugget as if you put one big nugget in. So you can break one big nugget into two smaller nuggets, and it will actually feed the furnace just as good as one big nugget. And down here, this is the brain. So right now we're making gears and ingots. Ingots get turned into plates on this furnace. Ingots get turned into rods on that furnace. And now, if I want to make ingots for the missions at the end of the game, I just swap out these molds on the end, and then I can make double ingots, and those get smelted, or those get sold straight. So these gears come up, get on this belt, and this is where plates come. Some of them stay plates, don't get turned into pipe. If they don't get turned into stay a plate, they actually get turned into pipe over here. So we've got this guy loops up onto the pipe maker, one right here, and then one hidden underneath of this ramp. And I put a lot of these walls because these belts can be a little finicky. You might be able to see it with these rods. Sometimes the rods like to make a jump. And now, with the amount of iron that's on this map, you actually need, just for 2 or 4 ingots coming out constantly, you have to separate these a lot. And so what I did here, so I was overloading 3 threaded rod makers. So what I did here was I put in an extra one here and here, but then I was overloading just one because I have an odd number and not an even number. So what I did was I made one extra rod, comes up here, and one gets put into there, and then one gets sorted off and sold as a rod, as well as that guy back there, he will sort off rods and bring the rods back to get sold. And just for the heck of it, I had built, and this is where they all get polished, I put these walls on here because things, especially the plates, can get jammed, and then these rods get popped on top. I'm blocking stuff. Let me get out of the way. I made it drop a gear. And the only reason I have all this here is sometimes, like, see, these plates don't go in right, so they can bounce out. The rods can bounce out of these packers. The packers are nice. They sell for a little bit more, but sometimes it's just not that nice to do that. I don't need to use anymore. That was for something I tried and it didn't work. So, and then this is multi-leveled again. So we got the steel and iron on the bottom. We've got gold on the second story and copper on the top story. And this is where everything comes to get sold right here. Just bouncing down. I built this homemade chute just because these chutes, if I put this right here, you'll see it's just a little bit smaller. And there also is not a good way to have 2 conveyor belts joining into a chute. So I'd have to have chutes down to there, a hole, and then start to shoot here and come down. So I just made a homemade chute out of walls. Yeah, see, once again, this thing's getting backed up because these packers are nice, but they don't always work perfect. And so everything is the exact same as the bottom, except we only need 3 threaded rod makers for both copper and iron. So this is how all those are set up. So it's a lot more compact than the steel and iron at the bottom. They can just be, they come out, instantly get separated. One of them can get separated out as a regular rod, and then 3 get turned into threaded rods. You can kind of see it in action here. So see, that one got separated out. That one will go straight, get made into a rod, and then right now we've got one waiting as well to get made into a rod. And it will get sucked in, and it will beat before, or get made before the next rods show up. And then up top, the same thing happens to copper. I can kind of show you from up higher. if you want to take a screenshot or something. And again, if you want to see me build all this factory, it was built in the stream. So you can go jump around the stream and see how I built everything if you have any questions. And now you might think, what is this mess? This doesn't look like a working factory. And you're kind of right. This is where my gems show up. And so when I turn my coal on, if I just want coal to come straight through, it comes up and it gets sorted out and it's on this belt. Goes on there, gets sold as coal, so I can finish the last quests where I have to sell a bunch. But all the gems fall straight through, and those gems go on a ride up to my gem sorting machine, basically. So there's 6 types of gems in the game. So what I have underneath of this is 3 bulk sorters with 1 bulk sorter on top. And how I did this was, so diamonds and emeralds and diamonds get dropped into the bottom one. So an emerald goes left, diamond goes right. And then on this one, we have the, I don't remember what this geode type is, the blue geode and pink geode drop down the middle because they're not going to get sorted out. And blue will go left and purple or pink goes right. And then here at the end, we've got the rubies, quartz, I think it's the quartz, or white geode, white and, or not white. They go to the right of this top one and then get sorted down just like so, just like the last ones. And then I have them all in packagers. I'm mostly doing this for the last mission, so I have is like you need like 500 diamonds, so I'm just saving them in these boxes so they're not taking up so many entities. So when I do finally get to the MineMogul, when I need 500 emeralds, 500 rubies, and the gems, and 1,000 diamonds, I just have this machine set up, and I have all these saved for that, because like each one of these big boxes holds 100 diamonds, so that's how I did that. That's why I did it. It does look like a mess, and it kind of is, but when I go to sell it at the end for my final mission, I'll just, I mean, after I finish the mission, you could take this whole thing out, and it's not even necessary to do this. I could probably just not save the gems, and it would be fine, but I thought it looked kind of cool, and I liked it. And so that's my factory. It's not the prettiest factory, but it does work, and I do really like the way it works. Oh, and if you're wondering if I have too many objects on the map, this runs at about 2,200. I've had it down to like 2,100 while it's running, and all the way up to like 2,300. Anything else, and you might have a leak somewhere. I think I've gone through and fixed every leak that I've noticed. So unless there's just a random ore that happens to hit another one, it bounces out, it really shouldn't be leaking anywhere. Other than sometimes the threaded rods, when they come off of here, sometimes like to jump. That one didn't, but sometimes they will jump off of these things. Like it will jump. I used to have this as a half wall. I think I still do up top. Yeah, like right here. Sometimes these threaded rods will actually jump over these, but in this case, yeah, see right there, they're doing a little jump. I'm not sure why they do that. It's kind of funny, but this game's early access and it's still a great game. So it's just kind of funny that they do that. But yeah, they will jump over this wall sometimes. But lucky for me, it just jumps right down into that conveyor belt, as well as the top. Top has done that before. But every once in a while, I will find a random piece down here that I have to pick up because they're jumping out. Yeah. So that's my factory. This is my in-game factory. Every node on the map is hooked up. Oh, also, every miner is a Mark 1 to get the diamonds from and emeralds from it, except gold, because there's not that much gold on the map. So I have all my gold is being mined from rapid miners with the hardened drill bit that does not break. So that's where all of the gold comes from. That's pretty much it for the video. It was a kind of a mess of a video, but I hope it helped anybody that might have wanted to see this, because this factory is insane. I mean, it took me a long time to build. If you go back to my live yesterday, I played for like 7 hours, and it probably took me took several hours to build it. And if you were to build this whole thing from scratch, it probably would take several hours to do. So, but it worked out. It works fine. These are all fairly compact, and I'm sure there's a way you can make these more compact. Okay, guys, that's the end of the video. I just wanted to say thank you for anybody that showed up and watched this video and watched how I built this factory. It's a little bit more messy than my other video, but than my older factory, but it does take all the ore on the map and processes it very well. So if you stop by, thank you. Please leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video to see some more, and that'll do it. Peace.